The U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission says older Americans are experiencing about 12 million falls per year. One ASU professor has partnered with the commission to find ways to reduce that number. We welcome Thurman Lockhart from ASU School of Biological and Health Systems Engineering, and also joining us is Steve Filmer, Media Relations Manager at ASU. Good to see you both. Thank you so much for joining us. Thurman, we'll start with you. The risk of falling among seniors, is that risk increasing?
That risk is increasing significantly, especially the bathtub type of injuries that causes traumatic brain injuries are increasing significantly.
Is that because there simply are more seniors? Are the bathrooms outdated?
Yeah, so a combination of both, yeah. The older adults, the population is increasing significantly, of course, about 70 million, coming up to about 2030. And of course, the bathtub standard for the coefficient of friction bathtub standard has been obsolete since 1979.
79, holy smokes. Coefficient of friction, what does that mean?
Coefficient of friction is basically slipperiness to a certain extent. Coefficient of friction is defined by horizontal force divided by the vertical force.
Oh boy.
What it means is basically, as we walk, we demand certain friction. And if that friction is not met by certain friction demanding surface, then you're going to slip, basically. So basically what we're looking at is coefficient of friction, and how does that coefficient of friction change with a person actually stepping and taking a shower and things like that.
And that takes us, and Steve, I'm going to get to you in a second here, but that takes us to your study and your test. Talk to us about this.
Yeah, so basically what we're doing now is, we're actually doing a slip and fall study, the actual study with the older adults who are harnessed, and they're walking over a bathtub and stepping onto the bathtub, and sometimes it's dry and sometimes it's wet. And we're looking at their responses to that slip or no slip. And so that was, she did it very nicely there. And,
but I mean, just seeing her take that step, I was like, holy smokes, I bet
exactly
that's not slippery down there.
Yeah, so that part might not be slippery. So we now you can see that
there they go.
Our student is spraying some slippery solution. It's basically salt and water.
And you measure what? Are you measuring how long it takes or what?
Yeah, so we're measuring at the time of the contact how much they're slipping.
Yes.
The slipping distance.
Oh, I see her. She just went right there.
Yeah, so there was a slip distances there. And then if you go over certain slip distance, then we call that a fall. Because you can no longer regain your posture.
Yeah, and she's having her problems right. Okay, all right, Steve. You're involved here because you took part in this test, didn't you?
Yeah, I'm just a guy who tells stories for ASU, and this is science and research that really touches our lives. It makes our lives safer. It's an investigation, but it's also an invitation. The study needs people like the woman you just saw to sign up and be volunteers for this. Thurman Lockhart and his team were game to let me suit up, strap on the harness, and go give it a try. Now, granted, when you see me do this, the team has taken all the parameters up to 11, all right? We have picked the slipperiest piece of tile. We have picked the slipperiest solution because we wanted to see what this looks like in an actual fall, and that's me losing it right
I was going to say, you're falling here pretty quick.
But the study needs more people like me and like the woman you just saw before me to be volunteers for this, and not just older folks like me, but also really, Thurman, it's what, 18 to age 100?
100,
to get the right statistical data to get what we need to learn to make these bathroom surfaces safer.
And Steve, when you did this, I mean, you're falling all over the place.
Yeah.
I mean, what did you expect and what did you experience?
What I experienced is that jolt of adrenaline you get when we fall, but without any of the pain or the what did I just break or bruise, which is kind of a fun experience afterward, but you definitely feel all that scary that you usually feel when you really take a fall.
And Thurman, again, at what age do folks find themselves starting to slip a little bit here? and
Yeah,
needing
I mean,
some help?
so you could start beginning at like 55 or even 60s and 65. But if you look at the statistics directly from CPSC, you could see that 70s and 80s and 90s, they're having some issues,
Yes.
significant issues related to the traumatic brain injury.
So when Steve does this and when the other people do this, what are you looking for here? What are you trying to study? What are you measuring?
So right now I'm measuring actual bathtubs. So we actually bought bathtubs from like Lowe's, from a variety of places.
Yeah.
And we cut off the bathtub and then put them on this platform and then basically have people go walk on it.
My
and
goodness.
step over it.
Yeah, well, I just saw Steve Filmer. Just take it right there. I mean,
Exactly right. And that's a slippery surface.
That was a hit.
So what's happening is with the bathtub industry is that, so if you put a, high coefficient of friction, if it is not slippery, then it's going to be very hard to clean, right? Because you got a lot of asperities, showing up there. Now, if it is very slippery, then it's very easy to clean to a
Yes.
certain extent. So the bathtub industry is creating these bathtubs without the standards,
Yeah.
so everybody's just buying things without really knowing the danger.
We got about 30 seconds left here, Steve. What do we take from this? What do we take from this story?
Well, first of all, that this is important research that really makes our lives better. But to do the research, people like Thurman Lockhart need volunteers. So Arizona PBS is offering itself up to be a portal to let people volunteer, literally see the research, but literally step into the research if you're game to do it, ages 18 to 100, right, Thurman?
100, right? Yeah.
And where do we learn more about this?
We can go to your website.
Yeah. Our website, locomotion.isc, Locomotion Research Laboratory at ASU.
Okay.
And,
Locomotion Research Laboratory at ASU.
Yeah, laboratory. Yeah,
All right.
Locomotion
Well,
Research Laboratory.
we'll run to our computers, but carefully. As gentlemen, good story, good stuff. Thanks for
Thank you
joining
very
us. We
much.
appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.